Today, we're working on a familiar style project, scribing together these massive walnut slabs to create a beautiful custom table. You'll recognize the process from our first go at this on our 14-foot scribe table that we hand delivered to Kentucky. Here's a link to that video if you're interested in seeing that build. We start by laying out the slabs and tracing the profile of both edges onto one another. This creates a unique river between the two once cut and ready for epoxy. In order to achieve a proper bond with the epoxy, the bark must be removed, all of it. Epoxy resin is incredibly strong and can bond with a variety of materials, providing structural support as well as aesthetic appeal. We remove the bark using a draw knife and a sander. This ensures the epoxy will absorb and seep into the wood grain. We mark out the table dimensions and carefully cut them with our track saw. It's important to take it slow and use wedges if needed to prevent the kerf from pinching the blade due to internal stress in the wood. We make sure the ends are perfectly squared, and then we use a jigsaw to cut out our traced profile. We don't want this to look completely unnatural, so we do multiple small passes until it looks just right. There are no blueprints or perfect designs to follow when doing this. We make sure all the edges are smooth and ready for the next step. We build a giant mold using dimensional lumber, tape, and silicone on our HDPE table. We fasten some pieces together close to the finished dimension of our table. We always pour and cut our slabs bigger so we can do the final trim at the end. With the form built and sealed with silicone, it will contain our epoxy and prevent any leaks, hopefully. We mixed up a few buckets of Epoxy Flowcast and added black liquid pigment to make it as dark as possible. We don't want this table to look transparent at all, so it took quite a bit of pigment. We then poured the epoxy to fill the river section and all the voids like knots and cracks. Proper curing of epoxy is essential. It involves a chemical reaction that can be influenced by temperature and humidity, so it's crucial to pour in the proper environment and follow the manufacturer's instructions. These walnut slabs really absorbed the epoxy while it cured over the weekend, so we'll need to top it up after flattening the slabs on our CNC. We pried the slabs off of our table and out of the mold, then began the flattening process, which is just a simple program that skims a thin layer off the table about 1/8 of an inch for every pass. With the table now close to its finished thickness, we needed to address the underfilled sections. To prevent the epoxy from flooding over and running off the table, we use hot glue to trace the areas needing a top-up. Then we mix a smaller batch of epoxy and pour it just like before. Once again, we let everything cure and sand down all of the added epoxy and router the edges with a small round over bit for a smooth edge detail. We finished the table with Rubio Monocoat, buffing it on with a gem sander and then finished it by hand. This finish not only enhances the natural beauty of the walnut, but also provides a durable protection. Despite being a hardwood, walnut is relatively easy to work with, whether you're using hand tools or machinery. After the Rubio had cured, we drilled the mounting holes for the metal U-shaped legs, installed threaded inserts, and attached the legs with bolts. Using threaded inserts provides a secure and removable connection, allowing for future adjustments or replacements. We think these legs give the table a sleek, modern look. I got expensive taste, that's an expensive platter. I'm all about my bag, yeah, expensive. The contrast of the dark epoxy and lighter wood tones really helps the grain pop. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated on our latest projects. We've got some good ones coming up. And as always, let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.